The Galactic Council's diplomatic station orbited the gas giant Kepler 442, a monument to interspecies cooperation built over 3 centuries. Within its crystalline halls, ambassadors from 100 worlds conducted the delicate business of maintaining peace across the stars. And in the residential quarter reserved for dignitary families, a small dragon girl sat alone in a garden of bioluminescent flowers, watching other children play. Her name was SS Ratha, though she preferred the simpler nickname Sira that her caretaker had given her. At only 43 cycles old, barely 7 in human years, she was the youngest member of the ancient Draconess Imperium ever to reside on the station. Her scales shimmered like amethyst in the artificial light, and small wings folded against her back, still too underdeveloped for flight. She was, by any measure, a child of considerable prestige. She was also utterly, completely alone. The other children kept their distance, and Sira understood why. The Virin children with their crystalline bodies feared her heat signature might crack their delicate forms. The Tholian young, floating masses of sentient gas, worried her breath might disperse them. The Quelix younglings, peaceful herbivores, instinctively fled from anything with fangs and claws, no matter how small. Even the Kravar children, aggressive and warlike as their species was, gave her space, not from fear, but from protocol. The Draconess Imperium and the Kravar hegemony had a treaty, and that treaty required respectful distance between their peoples. The adult Kravar would not risk an interstellar incident because their children played too roughly with a dragon princess. So Sira sat, day after day, watching the others chase each other through the gardens, playing games she didn't understand, laughing in languages that hurt her ears. She traced patterns in the soft moss beneath her claws and pretended not to care. Then the humans arrived. Sira had heard about humanity, of course. Everyone had. They were the newest species to achieve faster-than-light travel, barely 2 generations removed from nuclear weapons and tribal warfare. The Council had debated for years whether to grant them full membership or keep them in provisional status. Her father, Lord Escarthan, had voted against full membership. Too volatile, he'd said. Too emotional, too unpredictable. The human ambassador, Dr. Sarah Chen, had arrived 3 days ago with her family. Sira had watched from her balcony as the human transport docked, releasing a small family of 4 into the station. The adults moved with the careful dignity of diplomats, but the children, there were 2, moved like chaos given form. They ran, they jumped, they laughed too loud, they touched everything. Sira was fascinated. On the 4th day, she was sitting in her usual spot in the garden, creating small sculptures from molten sand she heated with her breath, when she heard footsteps. Small footsteps. She looked up to see a human child approaching her. The child was tiny, even for her species, with dark hair pulled into 2 puffs on either side of her head, and skin the color of fresh earth. She wore a bright yellow dress with some kind of creature on it, a 4-legged beast Sira didn't recognize. The child stopped a few meters away, tilting her head in a gesture Sira had learned meant curiosity among many species. "Hi," the child said in surprisingly clear galactic standard. "I'm Myra, I'm 5, what's your name?" Sira blinked, her inner eyelids sliding sideways in surprise. No one ever approached her directly. "SS Ratha," she said carefully. Then, remembering, "But you can call me Sira." "Sira," Myra repeated, mangling the pronunciation slightly but with such enthusiasm that Sira felt her chest warm, and not from her internal fire. "That's pretty. Are you a dragon? My daddy said there are space dragons here. He said I shouldn't bother you, but I'm not bothering you, am I? I'm just talking." No, you're not bothering me." Sira looked around nervously. Where were the child's parents? Didn't they know it was dangerous for human younglings to approach a draconess, even a small one? "Where is your father?" "Talking to boring people about boring things," Myra said with a dramatic sigh that made her whole body heave. "My brother's doing homework. Homework, can you believe it? On a space station." She stepped closer, her eyes wide as she examined Sira's scales. "Wow, you're so shiny, like my mom's fancy necklace but alive." Despite herself, Sira felt pleased. She'd always thought her scales were rather dull compared to her older siblings. "Thank you, your hair adornments are also aesthetically pleasing." Myra touched the puffs on her head and giggled. "These are just ponytails. They're to keep my hair from getting in my face when I play." She paused, then asked the question that would change everything. "Do you like to play?" Sira's mind went blank. No one had ever asked her that before. She had tutors who taught her mathematics, stellar politics, and the ancient histories of her people. She had caretakers who ensured she was fed, bathed, and presentable. She had guards who protected her from theoretical threats. But play? I don't know," she admitted quietly. "No one plays with me." Myra's face transformed into an expression of such exaggerated horror that Sira almost laughed. "What? Nobody plays with you? That's the saddest thing I ever heard." The human child plopped down on the moss beside her without hesitation, close enough that Sira could feel her body heat, so much cooler than a draconess but still alive, still warm. "Well, I'll play with you. What do you want to play?" "I don't know any games," Sira confessed. "Okay," Myra bounced up. "I'll teach you. We can play tag or hide-and-seek or make-believe or, oh, do you like pretend? We could be space pirates or explorers, or we could open a restaurant on an asteroid." Over the next hour, Sira learned more about being a child than she had in her entire short life. Myra was a whirlwind of imagination, declaring them to be everything from rival starship captains to best friends running an intergalactic bakery that served cakes to every species in the galaxy. Sira's sand sculptures became everything from precious cargo to asteroid bases to alien customers requesting elaborate desserts. When Sira accidentally melted one sculpture too much, she apologized profusely, but Myra just clapped her hands. "That's okay, now it's a lava cake, see? Everything can be part of the story." For the first time in her life, Sira felt something she hadn't known she was missing: joy. They were in the middle of defending their imaginary space station from imaginary pirates when Myra's older brother James came running into the garden. He stopped short when he saw them, his face going pale. "Myra, what are you doing? Mom said not to." "I'm playing," Myra announced proudly. "This is Sira, she's my friend." James looked at Sira with obvious fear, and Sira felt her happiness deflate. Of course. Now the adults would come and take Myra away and tell her that draconess children and human children couldn't be friends, couldn't play together, couldn't. "Is she being too much?" James asked Sira directly. "My sister can be. A lot. If she's annoying you, I can take her back to our quarters." Sira straightened up, her small wings flaring slightly. "No," she said firmly. "She is not annoying me, she is. My friend, we are playing." James blinked in surprise, then smiled, a genuine expression that reached his eyes. "Okay then, just, if she gets too crazy, let me know." He turned to leave, then paused. "Hey, Sira, that's a really cool sand castle you made." "Thank you," Sira said softly. "It's actually a lava fortress. We're defending it from the Cosmic Pirate Alliance." "Sounds epic," James said, and he actually sounded like he meant it before he jogged away. Over the following weeks, Sira and Myra became inseparable. Where other species saw danger in Sira's claws and fire breath, Myra saw possibilities. "Can you help me toast these snacks? The food dispenser won't make them crispy enough." Where others feared Sira's strength, Myra requested it. "Can you reach that high branch? I want to see what kind of leaves these are." And slowly, miraculously, other children began to join them. James started coming to the garden with building toys that he, Sira, and Myra would construct into elaborate space stations. A young Virin named Tik-Tik, emboldened by Myra's fearlessness, asked if she could join their games, and Sira carefully regulated her body temperature so she wouldn't harm the crystalline child. Even a Quelix youngling named Popo started participating. no longer running from Sira's fangs, but laughing when she roared during their games of pretend. The adults watched with a mixture of amazement and concern. Lord Escarthan summoned Sira to his chambers one evening, his massive form dwarfing her small size. "Daughter," he rumbled, "is it true you've been playing with the human child?" Sira lifted her chin, meeting her father's eyes as she'd been taught. "Yes, father." "And the human child does not fear you?" "No, father, Myra is my friend." Escarthan was silent for a long moment, his ancient eyes studying his youngest offspring. Finally, he said something unexpected. "I may have been wrong about the humans. Any species that can teach my daughter to smile like that. Perhaps they are not as dangerous as I thought. Or perhaps—" he paused, a low rumble that might have been laughter coming from his chest. "Perhaps they are exactly as dangerous as I thought, but in ways I failed to anticipate." Sira didn't fully understand, but she didn't need to. All she knew was that for the first time when she went to the garden, she wasn't alone. Myra would come running, yellow dress flying, shouting, "Sira, Sira, I thought of the best game. We're going to be the first humans and dragons to discover a new planet together." And Sira would spread her small wings, still unable to fly but feeling like she could anyway, and answer, "Yes, let's explore the galaxy." Because in the end, that's what humans did best. They didn't see barriers, they saw possibilities. They didn't see danger, they saw potential friends. They didn't ask permission to care about someone different from themselves, they just asked, "Do you like to play?" And sometimes, that simple question could change everything.